This is Morten from English TV. We are here at Fujifilm's super wonderful booth in Hall 8B at Drupa in Düsseldorf, and I'm with my good friend Scott.
Morten,
Good to see you again.
good to see you too. Welcome.
Thank you. You and I just said that we can talk about anything, but it's more a question of can we talk about something relevant? Right?
yeah, hopefully.
I think that normally it's quite interesting because, I mean, you have a vast history in a positive sense from the industry. So you have been part of it in a way that has also given you the position in the market, the understanding of customer needs and bridging that into the technology space, right?
Yeah. It's been, this is our first Drupa where we have the entire Fujifilm dry ink technology, inkjet, everything actually, advanced industrial offset, everything at the one show. And I think for us internally, it's been super exciting, and that has come onto the stand, the customer engagement. I think we're maybe the only vendor that can bring as much to the industry. We've got such a rich legacy and history within flexography, offset, and then bringing that together with all of our inkjet technology, the dry toner that we have on stand, it's really been amazing. It's been an amazing response. I think I won't go into too many of the numbers, but in the first 3 days, we were pretty much accomplishing what we had done in an entire show before. Wow. So, an amazing response so far.
But I can't help think about. I have been speculating about this publicly about the development of Fujifilm into our segment of the industry, because I mean Fujifilm is a huge company with many different legs. But when I see a show like this and also see your powers in all the segments that you describe, do you have a strategy of becoming number one in all these, let's say, silos, or?
Yeah, I mean, globally, if we look at across the entire business, so we're now Fujifilm Graphic Communications Division. As that entity, we have a goal to become number one in the industry across all of these different principles that we bring. We want to be that for our customer base, help them, develop hybrid workflows, let them step into digital where it's relevant, make sure they're supported within offset, flexo, et cetera. The goal is to be number one. And I think we're very well equipped for that, and certainly what we've brought today is.
And I mean, if you look at it from that perspective as well, it also makes sense because, I mean, you have from, let's say, small production equipment to large production equipment. So basically the portfolio of products you have seems to fit very well into that strategy, right?
Yeah, definitely. For me, if I, put my customer shoes on and I'm in offset or I'm in flexo, we've got digital flexible packaging. We have roll to sheet or roll to roll, continuous feed inkjet. We have 6 color, so many things, right? We have imprinting bars. It's all there, for you to engage. And it becomes much more, allows us to look at a customer business. What are you doing? Where do you want to go? Look at a roadmap and how we can take our customers forward, and then make sure they have the right tools and equipment, make sure the business model is right. So from that perspective, I think we're equipped possibly better than anyone else, that we can step in and lift everything forward from wherever the customer is. You have, as you mentioned, we have very entry level, all the way through to high-end production, B2 inkjet, dry toner inkjet, continuous feed. It's what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And that's our strategy, really.
What about, I mean, because if you look at the printing industry, by some often seen as an industry that is not so interesting investing in. So if you look as a public company, do investors appreciate the moves that you are doing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, but I mean, you have, even though you're growing in these segments, you're still very profitable, because sometimes growth comes at the cost, right? Yeah. But you have been able to manage your growth in a good way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it's a great point to say, we've maybe talked a little about this in the past, where, the printing industry in itself has grown by, depends on the statistic that we grab, right? But let's say in the last decade, 200 billion. Where's that growth? And if you look at the Drupa today and where it's come since 2016, there's a huge difference within the show itself. Very focused on digital, very focused on all of these futures. And so from an investor and a strategy perspective, yeah, I think
Not a bad
everyone's-
position, right?
Not a bad position.
What about, because when we talk about the digital transformation and digital, as you mentioned, behind us we see robots. What about software, AI, all the things that are also of interest in this industry right now?
Yeah, sure. Great question. I'm a huge fan of it, and I'm glad to say we've got, you see on the big screens around the show as well, we've got a smart flow strategy that'll really lean into that, Morten. And so we've got some things that are available now. Yeah, we've recently launched them. And then we have smart production technology in the workflow side, smart marketing technology as well, cloud-based, and connecting to the robots that are behind us today. So it was something that people were asking, oh, it's great to have robotics, but are they just dumb robotics, right? You don't want something, and we do have them, takes the paper, transport it across the showground, goes to the finishing department as if you were in a production environment, yeah. But the key thing is to make sure it has the job ticket information, everything's pulling through. And so from a production workflow environment, that's where we see things going as well. And that's on the stand today, and yeah, one of the cutting edge things I guess we're developing. On the marketing side of things, we've got, again, cloud-based development. There's a lot of AI is a great buzzword, but there's a lot of great AI inside it that, again, is a little bit off in terms of being able to deliver it. But on a development track, that's a genuinely exciting content within it, and how it will interrogate customer feedback and behaviors and patterns that will translate onto a printed page and help, I believe, many printing companies start to step in to be a communications company, and how they can help customers have hybrid digital and physical communication strategies. So yeah, we've got a lot going on. Yeah.
One of the things I can't help think about, because I mean, you have clearly decided to be the leader within the segments that you already described.
Yeah.
But is there limitations? I mean, because you're not in finishing, you're not on the paper side, of course, and of course you're on the chemical side with the inks. But is that like a, let's say, a framed piece of work where you decide you want to be number one, or could that be finishing equipment as well, or?
Yeah, so we've got great partners, you know, and one of them's here today. We've got Horizon on stand. We've got a lot of great technology visibly attached to 2, 3, 4 different lines of business, yeah. And I think that's essential for anyone going forward. If not, you know, with us, with that partner, you need to look at the whole ecosystem of how you're going to develop a digital strategy. So yeah, for sure, we've got that going on. I think futures, the workflow, input, output, has to be something that we talk about with customers, has to be considered, because there's not, you know, too often we try to take digital workflows, digital products, applications, and then use existing analog, especially finishing, for that. I'm not saying it's not ideal, but it can be, right? Where you really need something a bit more dedicated. The same principle of interrupting an offset press to print 100 of a job, you don't want to interrupt a big folding job to run 100 leaflets, right? And so you need to look at a bit more bespoke strategy. And so for sure, we've got partners that help us with that.
Scott,
Hey,
good talking to you.
great to see you.
And,
Appreciate your time.
Congratulations with a wonderful booth at Drupa.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Martin. Great to see you.